Hey guys, Sabri Subi here, and in this video I want to talk about specifically the toughest objection that you personally face when you're out there on sales calls and out there in the marketplace. Now, I have the benefit of working with literally thousands of different salespeople throughout my career. And one thing that I've always noticed is that, certain salespeople, they really struggle with certain types of objections. And it's not like it's only the one objection that everybody struggles with. On a sales floor of 10 people or 100 people, you'll see that it's kind of varying in terms of what they're struggling with in handling objection and coming to terms with in order to get the prospect sold and overcome that objection. And what I mean by that is, it's typically the biggest objection is in your mind and it's not in the mind of the prospect. So specifically what I mean by that is, if you're someone that really kind of has a hard time with contracts and you just hate signing contracts and the service that you're selling involves a contract, that is going to be the biggest sticking point for you in your sales process. You're going to find that you keep coming and bumping your head against prospects that don't want to sign a contract. Or if you're kind of, you don't spend lavishly on big items, or you don't take it lightly to invest large sums of money in your own business or in your own personal success, then price is going to be a massive problem for you, and it's going to be the biggest objection that you face. And what I mean by that is you're not sold on, like signing contracts or investing large sums of money into yourself and into your business and investing, then that's what you're just going to keep on bumping heads against, because really deep down inside, you're not sold on this point. Therefore, you are lacking conviction in really getting the prospect to buy in and being able to shatter that objection, right? If you're kind of know that it's a big price point, but you're comfortable with that and you're actually someone that spends a lot of money on your own personal development or investing in your business, it's going to seem like a mere triviality, the price. And when you get to price, you're going to just make it seem trivial to the prospect. And you're going to break that price down and you see like, look, this is something that's required in order for you to be successful. Like these problems that you're experiencing, this end outcome that you want to achieve, this is how you get there. This is the bridge. You're going to need to invest in yourself and you're going to need to invest in your business to get to where you want to go. And because you're going to have so much conviction and you're going to be sold because you're already, operating your life in such a way that it's congruent, you're not going to have a problem with this objection. Or if it's the contract thing, right? If you always sign up onto contracts, if you finance your cars, if you're on a long kind of, internet or broadband contract or a mobile phone contract, and it's just something that you're really familiar with and you're really on board with, then that's not going to be a problem. You're just going to communicate to the prospect like, yeah, it is a contract because it requires a commitment. This is something that you're going to need to commit 12 months to. Otherwise, there's no point you doing it at all. So if you're not in it with 12 months, then you may as well not do it at all, because it is going to be a process. And again, you're going to have conviction. You're going to be sold on, it's a 12-month contract. So what? That's the way that it operates. That's the way the world works. And you're going to be fully sold on that. It's going to be congruent, and you're just going to shatter those objections as they come up. So what I want you to really do is identify what is the most common objection for yourself, and then look at why is that? What is the underlying fundamental issue that you have a problem with in your life, or the way that you think about that objection, that's price or contract or whatever it might be. You want to look at that and think, why do I feel that way? Like, why aren't I sold on 12-month contracts? Or why do I think like it's a lot of money? And you want to really break that down and deconstruct it and get sold on whatever it is. If it's a contract or price, get sold on why it is that price. All the raw materials, all the servicing costs, all the overheads that are factored into it being that price, and all the value that it really gives to that prospect and how it helps them along their way. Or if it's a contract term, really get sold on, yeah, this is a process, like this is gonna take time. It's not gonna be overnight. As much as we would love it just to happen instantly, that's not the way it works. Hence why it is a 12-month contract. And really deconstruct that in your own mind and get on board with that. And I assure you that when these objections come up on sales calls, you're gonna be so sold, you're gonna have so much conviction that you just obliterate that objection, and it won't be your biggest objection that you struggle with moving forward. So to recap, really the biggest objection and hurdle that you face when you're on the phone is in your mind, and it's not in the mind of the prospect. I know that's hard to kind of get your head around, but trust me, it's true. So really what you want to do is just find out why you're feeling that way about the objection, break it down and move forward. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next video.